Woohoo! We are live. We are live. We are live. We're going to start the countdown and then we'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Stories of Overcoming Live with Lisa Santiago. I am your host, Lisa Santiago, and today we have a very special guest that is coming to share something that came into her life that, much like many of the things that have shaken our own lives up and taken us to places where we didn't think we would have ever gone, and honestly, you probably would not have gone there, learned it, or been even interested in it if you weren't in a particular situation for it to happen to you. My special guest is Lisa Cassenti, and she will be sharing her story of overcoming. I appreciate all of you joining the room. I'm not going to belabor it. I thank you so much for checking in with us. Dr. Deborah, thank you so much. Let us know where you're tuning in from and how did you hear about our show? We definitely want to bring stories of overcoming because let me tell you, last year, I am so excited. 2020 let a lot of people learn that they were superheroes. 2020, although it was filled with challenges, it was also filled with perseverance. It was filled with overcoming. It was filled with resiliency. It was filled with invention. And for those of us that took the opportunity to look for the silver lining, if you will, it was an opportunity to see that you're stronger than you thought, that you are made up of some good stock, and that you have purpose, and that's why you're still here. So we want to bring forward my special guest right now so that I can introduce her to you all. Welcome forward, Lisa Cassenti. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. I am so excited and honored to be here with you and your audience
Oh,
today.
yes, I am too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
I'm excited. So, from the first time that we met through a virtual event, and you resonated with me right away because you told the story of the acorn. And that stuck with me. And I said, oh my goodness, Lisa is incredible and she knows how to tell a story. And I understood that on so many levels. So I am completely honored to share my story here.
Well, I am so grateful that you decided to join with me today. And let me tell you, I honestly believe in storytelling. I believe that the art of storytelling is a way for us to make sure that we connect heart to heart with one another. Because there are so many things that all of us go through, and we think we're different. We think our lives are so different. We think we come from different backgrounds and all of these different things. But just like the tiniest little acorn, that story is about resiliency. It is about misunderstanding and improperly having the wrong perception about life. And it's also about the greatness that's in you that sometimes we don't even recognize because we're looking at it from one side. Now, as I look at you and as I look at the picture that was submitted, I want to share that with the audience again because I love this picture. My admin reached out to me and says, she's looking at us from the side. We need a headshot. I said, listen, we got the best freaking headshot in this picture. We got the best freaking headshot. That headshot for me is power because look how far you've come from that moment. Go ahead and shake that beautiful curly head. Here we are.
I know this is 2 years of growth, but this is my hair came back and it's just so much curl and it's less gray. I don't even know how that is.
You're reverse aging, to God be the glory.
Yes, but that picture, that headshot, the reason that I submitted that, that is a very special picture. And when you talked about power. That picture, that was on the day that I decided to have my head shaved. So, and I went to a very special place. There are some beautiful ladies that didn't even know me. And in the beginning of my journey, they came together to give me a gift, which is, I can talk about that a little bit later on, but they gifted me a photo session the last time that I would breastfeed my daughter. So it was a beautiful photographer, Jessica Sullivan, that gifted me that session. And the ladies at Lush Blow Dry and Blow Dry Salon in Smithtown. Of course, I'm all nervous, so I'm forgetting exactly the names.
Let,
But yes,
let's back up a little bit, because I want to share that part, but I want people to understand that when you say the last time you breastfed, you went through a bout with breast cancer.
yes,
Tell
yes.
me a little. Let's start there. Let's start there, and then we'll progress forward.
Sounds good. There's so much to share with you. I just kind of didn't mean to start in the middle.
You're good.
Okay. So actually, I'm going to start before my diagnosis
Okay.
because I think it's important. There are lessons in everything that happened.
Mm.
Okay. So at the around the end of 2018, my daughter was 9 months old. I had become a single mom around when she was 1.5 months of age. Her father was still in her life, but that is a whole other story. But prior to that time, I had gone through I had gone through postpartum depression,
Yeah.
which let me tell you, that is something that I don't think people talk about a lot. And
Not
that is
enough.
no, and I wasn't diagnosed until a lactation consultant met with me, and I felt like I was going crazy. And she told me that I was going through postpartum depression, and that is extremely impactful. So I overcame that, um, and I found myself in a position because I was a single mama. I knew I was going to have to figure out how was I going to be able to take care of my daughter, do
Mm.
the breastfeeding, be able to work. So I left a job that I was with for most of my career in special education, and I went to
Wow.
a startup company. Now, this startup company, I believed that their philosophies really aligned with me, but I found out pretty early on that we were very different with our
Mm.
values and our beliefs, and it wasn't what I thought. But they gave me the opportunity to work remotely. And
Mm.
so I took it because it was a way that I can be with my daughter, do the breastfeeding, be able to figure out how to make sure she had as much time with her father, all of the things that I needed to do. But I was working an insane amount of hours. My daughter
Mm.
wasn't sleeping, and I was doing these projects every night. Before midnight, I was trying to submit projects for this particular startup company. And so I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't taking care of myself. The
Wow.
emotional draining of everything that had happened with the dissolution of my relationship with my daughter's father, all of that was kind of weighing on my shoulders. And
That's
my
a lot.
parents, yes. And my parents said, Lisa, you can't go on like this. Something is going to happen. Well, they were right. They were absolutely 100% right. So all of that, I thought I was being healthy. I might have been healthy, what I put in my body, but I wasn't sleeping. My mindset was terrible. And
Yeah.
all that emotional baggage, a perfect storm created in my body. Basically, that is
Absolutely.
what happened. And I found a mass, a lump that was in my left armpit, and I kind of shrugged it off because I was so busy. I said, I'm sure it's nothing. It's probably a breast infection from breastfeeding. I shrugged it off for a week, Lisa. And then I said, I better go. I better go to the
Mm.
doctor. And I will tell this quickly, but basically, I was fast tracked to have a biopsy, and I was
Mhm.
told at the Breast Health Center, Fortunato, amazing, by the way. I was told by a doctor there. She said, Lisa, we need to do a needle biopsy. It's probably nothing, but I just need you to know that maybe you won't be able to breastfeed after
Mm.
that if we hit a milk duct. And breastfeeding, I don't want to belabor it, but it took me and my daughter so long to get to the point that she could successfully breastfeed. We worked with a lactation consultant. Her father was against it. It was a battle from the beginning. So to
So it
think
was a
that,
really big deal for them to even indicate that something that you guys had bonded through and worked so hard to successfully accomplish was now potentially having a possibility of never happening again.
yes, but the doctor very wisely said to me, Lisa, you had 9 months to breastfeed your daughter. Do you want to live? Do you want to be here and catch something that could potentially be life threatening, be with your
Mm.
daughter all the days of your life? Or do you want to continue to breastfeed her and not know what's happening? And that was
Right.
all. I needed that wake up
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
So we did the needle biopsy, and that night, I slept and I woke up in a bed full of breast milk.
Wow.
And I was crying because I knew this meant that they had gone into a breast milk duct, and I
Ducks.
would have to stop breastfeeding. So
Mm.
I called the breast center, and they told me come in right away. And I'm, tears and everything as I'm going there. And I say, I know what happened. And they took me in the back, and I was actually with an ex-boyfriend at the time. He had come with me to support me during this process. And they said, you better go get your husband and bring him back to the room. And I said, that's not my husband. I said, I know what happened. I already know. I can't breastfeed anymore. And they said, no, Lisa, we got your pathology results back.
Mm.
And just the wind got sucked out of my
I
lungs.
imagine.
Brought my ex-boyfriend in, and they sat us down. And as the nurse held my hand, Stephanie Crispino held my hand while Dr. Caruccio told me that it was breast cancer. They had found
Wow.
breast cancer, and it was in at least one of my lymph nodes.
Mm.
Um, the world crashed down around me.
Yeah.
And that was the time that I cried, and all of this fear. And let me tell you, they delivered this news in the most loving, caring way. I will
Mm.
never forget how unbelievable these people at Fortunato were. And not everybody has that experience. I want you to know, I
Right.
talk to women every day with different, not experiences like that, but the fear that ravaged my body right in the beginning, it was all of these thoughts. What's going to happen to my daughter? Her dad is not capable of taking care of her. What stage am I at? What's the next step? What
Question
is
after question
it?
after question.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and Tony Robbins, this resonates with me, and I just like to share a Tony Robbins quote. And Lisa, you tell me if I'm talking too much, because this is bringing me back, and it's
It's okay.
it's hard. It's hard for me to tell from this point because I'm telling you everything.
It's
But
okay.
Tony Robbins said in Unleash the Power Within,
Mm-hmm.
he said that the person with good health has a million dreams, and the person with poor health has only one. That was me. My dream, restore my health so I can live with my daughter, see her grow up. That is all that I wanted in that moment. All of
Absolutely.
those things, none of the things that made me stressed before mattered.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
money, the work, the due dates, that was all not important. My life and my being with my daughter and my family, being here for them, that was what went through my mind.
Absolutely. So right there, I want to go back just for a moment because this is a very compelling story. But something that you said early on is something that I really want those watch those watching to listen and hear. You were managing what you were putting in your body at that time. You were managing the food that you were eating. You were managing potentially the fitness of your body, but what you were not managing was your mindset. And I don't think people understand how much your mindset and your mindset, your thoughts, the people that you're around, unforgiveness, all of those different things, how they impact our physical and physiological selves.
100%, Lisa. That was it. I wasn't taking care of my mindset. I wasn't doing self care. It
Mhm.
was one task to the next, to the next, to the next. It was necessities. It was, this is what I need to do. It wasn't, all that emotional stuff, that all of those things that I thought about myself from my daughter's father, what he told me about myself, that all had impact on my body in a big way. Um, so mindset. If anyone is open to learning about mindset, well, Tony Robbins does a lot of that, but Bernie Siegel has a book, and it's Peace, Love, and Miracles. And one of my therapists recommended I read this book, and he talks about what makes an exceptional patient. And the difference between someone two people that have the same diagnoses, could be the same stage, whatever, the treatments could be the same, but the mindset is the game changer. Your mind is incredibly powerful. And cancer taught me that. Cancer was a wake up call. It wasn't, I I know that people are careful about language when they talk about cancer, and they say don't say cancer is a gift. Well, you know what? Cancer was my wake up call that I was not living in the moment. I was not being present. I was not thankful and
Yeah,
grateful for what I had.
I
And
agree.
and I wasn't expressing that to
Yeah,
my higher power, to the universe, to whoever.
absolutely.
So
One of my
that,
favorite one of my favorite books that talks about the importance of expressing gratefulness, even in the things that we don't necessarily quantify as things to be grateful for, is Melody Beatty, Making Miracles in 40 Days. That book has shown me how to extract the wisdom in every opportunity. I had started saying, someone, it just came to me out of nowhere. Someone says to me, every time I talk to you, you're good. Every time I talk to you, you say you're good and you're great. And I said, you know what? Everything is always all good, or it's making me better. No matter what's going on, it's either all good or it's making me better. And I think that if we can come to a place where we shift our mindset, and I really think that that's what these stories of overcoming end up doing, because you share in the beginning, what you shared has gotten so many of your viewers responding, that's terrifying. That was overwhelming. I'm sure you were afraid. But you know what? The thing is, those things might be true, but where you're standing right now, you would not have had the opportunity to see your strength if you had not gone through that.
yes, Lisa, if you asked me back in 2018, before this, if you were to say to me, you're going to get this life threatening diagnosis, you're going to be a single mama, all these things are going to happen to you. Are you going to make it through, and are you going to impact other lives? I would have probably told you that, Lisa, I'm going to crumble. That is going to just make me fall apart. That's not what happened.
Yes.
It was a process in the beginning. Let me tell you, things were falling apart. They were.
Yeah.
And I found my way, and I did not know how it was going to happen. But I I tell people that my daughter saved my life. My daughter
Amen.
saved my life a million different ways, but she's the one that pushed me to find a way. And I was in really dark days. And I don't know what would have happened to me if it wasn't for having her. So, um,
Yeah. Mindset is so powerful, how we perceive our situations and the people that we have around us. The people that we have around us is also a big and important factor. I'm so grateful that you had a care team that was actually that. They were caring care team, you know, your doctor and your nurse, because I don't think people understand how relevant it is to be surrounded with support and positive influence, love and caring kindness, and also hope. Hope. Hope is a really big deal. I'm always harking back to the story of Tabitha in the Bible where Christ was brought to help raise this daughter from the dead. And when he came into the room, um, people were murmuring and giggling and laughing. And he said, "Get them out. Get them the hell out of here. You got to get them out of here because those people with their doubt and disbelief can impact what I'm going to be doing in here." And he was Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So understand that these stories are here to remind us of the importance of what you need to be doing, who you need to be having around, what type of mindset you need to be focusing on. He was saying, I need only people in this room who believe that she's going to get up, right? We don't need anybody else in here. And I think that that's important when you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is, whether it's dealing with the trauma, tragedy of breast cancer, whether it's building your business. You don't want to be around a whole lot of people that are telling you, oh, nobody's ever done that. You're not going to be able to do that. You got to be surrounded by people that have the mindset. That's right, Tammy. Mindset is so powerful. The mindset that they're not detracting, they are adding. They are adding. We don't know. We don't realize it, that those things are actually coming to make us stronger, you know? That it is so important. And I'm so grateful, Lisa, that you extracted strength from that. But I'm sure that there were still some steps of fear before we got to the big triumph. Share something else that you went through that you didn't think that you'd be able to handle until you got on the other side of it.
oh my goodness. Okay. So much, so much. Um, I just want to go back to when you talk about surrounding, you talk about mindset and the
Yes.
people that you are with, and how important and impactful that is. You know, we all have those friends that are the Debbie Downers. Sorry for any Debbies out there. No, no offense. But the ones that are negative, and
Yes.
it's sometimes hard to be around them. And they're the ones that are, you know, they put those fears and those doubts and those things so in your mind. So surround yourself, especially when you need to be elevated and uplifted. Surround yourself with those friends that do that. Tammy Egbert on here, she has become a dear friend to me. And here she is showing up again and supporting me. And we've only met each other maybe 3 months ago. But look at that. And she elevates and uplifts me. And I've had friends do that, dear friends.
That's so important.
Tina,
We've got some comments that are not showing up on the screen, but I always want to acknowledge as many of our viewers as we can. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. That's Sean Hill. Beverly, uniquely taking over. She is calling us out. She says, "Hey, Lisa, we need to get us a cult jam."
I love that.
And Beverly also goes on to say, mindset is very important. We've got Monique here from New York City's in the house. And Joyce, Lady Joy, self-care is an essential step of self-love. Absolutely. It is essential. If you do not take time to take care of your mind, body, and spirit, you are allowing cracks in the armor. That's how you get cracks in the armor. That's how the things that make you who you are lose their resiliency, strength, and power. We've got to continue to put energy and effort in maintaining our strength physically, mentally, and spiritually. but mindset is one that can deteriorate us almost without us realizing it in a sneaky way. What are your thoughts about that?
Yes. Ooh, all of a sudden I got really, my face got really big. Yes.
I,
Mindset.
I took us in for our close-ups. We're
That's
beautiful.
okay. Okay. Oh, now you'll notice some of imperfections, but that's okay. I embrace my imperfections.
You too.
I do. So, yes, mindset, things creep up very sneakily on you.
Yep.
And that's exactly if you hold if you hold things in, I tell people all the time, I'm so happy that my daughter is so expressive in when she's upset about something, oh my gosh, the neighbors know it, and she screams and I'm angry and she'll express herself. That little girl, my little girl, is never holding things inside or stuffing them down and where, you don't want to deal with it. So
Right.
those things, anything that happens to us, all of our traumas, if we don't deal with them, they are going to show up in some way in a physical manifestation. And it happens, and this happens even with animals. I feel like I'm diverging, but can I
It's
share?
okay. They don't
Can I
mind.
share?
They'll follow us.
Okay. So I absolutely adore animals. Adore animals, and that was the beginning of my career. I was a biologist, and I thought I would go into conservation biology.
Mm.
Now I am able to work with animals in a different capacity, and I'm working with this one amazing owner. She rescues horses, Sharon Dugan, and she's out of Laguna Beach, California, and she has this beautiful horse that she
Wow.
rescued, Crystal. And Crystal went through a very sad time. Before she was rescued, her foal was taken from her by wolves, and
Wow.
while she was there to witness it, and if people don't believe that animals have emotions and they feel a sense of loss,
Oh, yeah.
Crystal was going through that and those traumas, and it physically manifested for her into being foundered. Where, so horses, as you know, any big animal, they're balancing on their four legs and
Mhm.
their feet.
Mhm.
And if anything happens and they have pain in their legs or anything like that, that most of the time, once they start laying down, getting those pressure sores on their body, it's recommended they be euthanized.
Right. If they get put
Well,
down. Mhm.
Crystal's owner, Sharon, looked for all of these different options. And I have been blessed enough to give her an option for this particular horse. And I'm happy to say that this horse is making progress, again, slow progress. But my whole point of the matter to this was that if you hold on to these physical traumas, like what Crystal maybe wasn't able to express what had happened to her
Right.
or
Of course.
is. Um, as human beings, if we hold on to traumas, we don't express them in some way, whether it's sharing them with a best friend, joining a support group, like I found the breasties, they're awesome. Um, but just writing, journaling, whatever, you've got to get that out. If you need to yell outside and scream at the top of your lungs, please do it, because that's healthy.
That's
Holding
right.
manifest. Look what happened with me.
Mhm.
Um, I really believe it was all of those things that just I stuffed so much down.
That the stress manifested itself in the tumor that then was cancerous.
Yes. And
Mhm.
exactly. And I think, and this is not to say that every time something happens to a person, it's a physical manifestation of some trauma. I'm not saying that, but, and maybe other people will say that,
I
but
would
our
say.
body is telling us something. So please wake up and listen. Wake up and listen before something like this happens to you. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is so true. I want to continue on your journey
okay.
as you went forward. with processing and going through the treatments and everything. You were, well, at the very beginning, you were about to talk about your photo shoot for your last breastfeeding. So let's
Yeah.
start there.
Okay, so I'll talk about that, and I feel like, Lisa, I don't know, we could talk for hours, but so I guess what I was trying to share with this story is, so I knew that I had to give up breastfeeding because I
Yeah.
was going to be going through this journey, and I chose to do alternatives along with the traditional route.
Hmm.
So the cancer that manifested in me really loved estrogen and progesterone. So for me to continue breastfeeding was not a good thing because it would increase production of these hormones. So
Hmm.
my lactation consultant basically said to me, "We've got to wean Leanna. We have to do it. Let's pick a day right now," because she knew that I would just continue to breastfeed my daughter,
Right.
without stopping. So we picked a day, and she said, "That is the last time that you're going to breastfeed Leanna, and
Hmm.
I'm doing this for you because I love you, and I love her too, Jennifer Giard."
Oh, how beautiful to have that type of person in your corner.
Yes, I'm very blessed. And I said, I need somehow to preserve this moment because this is a big loss for me. I'm grieving. This is the hardest part about the cancer. I have to stop breastfeeding. And maybe not everybody understands that, but that was for me. And we were troubleshooting, and my mom was there in the office with us. And I said, if I could photograph the last journey, that would mean the world to me.
Mhm.
And so Jennifer said, "Well, I know this photographer, Jessica Sullivan. She has Jessica Michelle Photo, and she's amazing. And let me reach out to her right now." Jessica Sullivan, one of my heroes too, she not only arranged a photo shoot, and I can talk about how special that was to me, but she got people from Lush Blow Dry and Beauty Bar in Smithtown to the owner, Tony Ann, to arrange for Ginger to do my hair. She arranged for um, Lauren of LG Artistry to do my makeup. And I had no idea they were doing this before
Oh,
the shoot. And not only that, Jessica had like I had nothing to wear. I am not
you had the
fashionable.
glam squad. The glam
She,
squad.
yeah, she had a dress. Jessica had a dress. And the photo shoot was taken at a place that was very special to me and my daughter, Avalon in Stony Brook. And it was outside. It was a cold day, but we did it. And I was in the rocking chair that my grandma rocked me in as baby, that my mom and dad had restored. That photo shoot, the Jessica created a video and for me with some of those photos, and my Facebook profile picture is that. I need to change it, but it's so hard because that picture means the world to me. Um,
Yes. We
and I'm
love
in that
that
rocking.
picture.
So yeah, so that meant a lot. And then so I guess what I want people to get from that is that the losses that you go through when you go through cancer, find a way to celebrate what it is that you did have. I
Right.
totally look at, okay, that was one of the last times I breastfed my daughter, but how amazing that I did that for 9 months.
I
Was
want to
able
show this. Hold on one
to,
second. I'm about to get as creative as I can on the
thank
fly. Hold on one second.
you. Yeah.
That photo is gorgeous. It
Thank you.
is gorgeous. And I think that it does capture such a peaceful and serene element. And then with you sharing that that's also the chair that you were rocked in, I mean, come on, you can't get more uh, nostalgic, appropriate, all that. What is the sign?
My aunt gave me the sign, so I have the most amazing of families. And my mom and dad came, and my lactation consultant came there. And it meant so much to me. So that sign is about Cancer. What Cancer's limited, and all the things that Cancer can't do.
Mhm.
So my aunt gave me that, and we put it in the picture.
Wow.
One of my best friends, Marina, knit that blanket. Another best friend of mine, Tina Merchandani, the blanket that's in the background.
The
She sent
quilt.
that to me.
Absolutely. That
Yeah,
is a phenomenal keepsake that, I mean, come on. That picture represents how much love and support you had in that moment.
I did. I was
Love
surrounded.
and support that you didn't even plan for. You didn't expect them to go to this length. And I would venture a guess that if you had to ask for it, it may not have ever happened.
No, as women, if it's okay if I say that, as women,
Please.
I think it's a big deal for us to be able to be open to receiving.
Mhm.
So, Valerie Shepard is an amazing business coach, and she's taught me, and also Marla Press is an amazing life coach. They both have reminded me that we need to be open to the universe, to our higher power, to receiving what is in store for us. And it, as a woman, a lot of us just give, give, give. And I'm sure there are men that do that too. You guys are out there. I know that. But we have to remember that if we are going to be giving, we have to allow people to give to us and to receive
Absolutely.
and to say thank you. And
Absolutely.
it's hard. And yes, I that was one of the things for me to, I remember I kept saying, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did this, Jessica. And then these women showed up again when it was time to shave my head. I mean, and these women did not know me. All they knew was that I was diagnosed and I was a new mama, and they rallied together. And that is the kind of, I want people to know that there are good, good people out in the world that do these things. I know the news tells us there's so many terrible people out there. Well, you know what? I'm telling you that on this journey, I have met remarkable, incredible visionaries. I adore the family that I work with now, my team. They are such blessings in my life. And none of this would have happened if it wasn't for the cancer. This journey,
Absolutely.
like it was a whole journey that happened.
Now, Lisa, you mentioned a couple of things that I wanted us to circle back on before we close out. We're actually about out of time. We actually went over, but
Uh-oh.
that's okay. I
Um,
usually go to 45 as opposed to 30, even though it's only supposed to be 30 minutes. It's okay. So, one of the things that you mentioned that kind of stuck out to me, and I think it was back when you were talking about postpartum, you said you felt a little bit crazy. I
yes.
need women to understand that feeling a little bit crazy is often a signal that you're shifting. It's a signal that you're shifting because there's another shift. I think postpartum is the one that we're becoming more and more familiar and in tune with. I'm very happy for the new mothers and young mothers who are getting the help and support that they need as they are becoming moms and dealing with the chemical and hormonal changes that their bodies are going through, and also the mind shifts that go on as they become a new mom and have sleep deprivation, and responsibilities don't change. They don't minimize, they often maximize and double, and they're dealing with that. But there's another shift that comes along that I really want ladies to understand, that around 40, there's going to be another shift in your life where you think you are going crazy. And I am encouraging those that have not yet met that shift to prepare for it, and those that have already gone beyond that shift to be what you are supposed to be for your sisters. That means someone that reaches out to them and says, "Girl, I understand that you're about to lose your mind. You're losing your mind. You're acting a little bit crazy. Understand it's a part of life because everything about you is changing professionally, from a caretaker perspective, oftentimes at that 40, 45 point, you're shifting as a mother who has been dealing with dependent children to now a parent who has children who are independent. Your jobs change, your responsibilities change, and sometimes the way that people treat you changes in that season as well. A lot of times, what often happens, and this happened to me, is the displacement leaves many women realizing that they have been focusing on other people so much that they have no idea who they are. And I interject this now towards the end of our program because I want you to do something for me today. For those that are watching, I want you to take a moment and I want you to introduce yourself to you. We talked about mindset and we talked about self-care. I want you to introduce yourself to you. What do you really like? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? What's your favorite smell? What color do you love? What nurture are you giving to the person that is going to spend the rest of your life with you? And that's you. I want you to take the time today as you're listening to me and listening to Lisa and understand how important it is for you to love on you. Whatever age you are, whatever you're dealing with in your life, take some time today, tomorrow, every day to spend a few moments with you, your longest lifelong companion. I was 44 years old before I knew what my favorite color was. I could tell you my children's favorite color. I could tell you all of their favorite foods. I could tell you my parents, my grandparents. I could tell you everybody's everything. But I didn't know what my favorite color was. And even when I finally tapped in and said, "Oh, my favorite color is," and I came up with the favorite color, when I continued to seek myself, I realized that that favorite color was simply associated with a fond memory of my grandmother. And it still wasn't my favorite color. So take some time to get to know you. Lisa, I want you to leave people with something that will enrich and empower them. And I definitely want people to reach out to you if they're looking for someone to direct them, to help support them as they go through what they're dealing with. And I want to afford you this time right now.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, this has been amazing. And like I said, we could talk for hours. So I just, to everybody that is watching, I want to thank you for letting me share myself with you. And I want you to understand that it is so important for me to give back. I've been given such a gift going through this journey. I've had amazing people come and help to guide me and help me to find my way. So please feel free to reach out. It doesn't have to be that you're going through breast cancer. It could be any health journey. I just reach out. You can reach out at lisacassenti.com. I'm going to offer a free resource. So on
Sure.
how to empower people to become thrivers. So you can get those tips there. You can just message me, but let me be a support to you or someone who can share resources to you. I love and adore helping people to find their way. And I've actually changed my career because of this, Lisa. And I empower other people to restore hope, health, and happiness. So if that's something that I can bring to you, I would love that. And last, as a closing, do I have 20 seconds maybe? I just want people, so this is a practice that Tony Robbins did, and I think it's very impactful. He said that if you do this, if you meditate on this, this can really change your life. So you close your eyes, ground yourself. We don't have time to do that, but think of moments in your life, moments that you were so proud of, and reach out and grab them and bring them to your heart. Moments where you felt so loved and supported, and bring those into your heart and really feel the joy. Moments that are intimate, loving, sexy moments, moments that made you excited. And do this. And if you can do this 5 minutes a day for 10 days and see what that does to your mindset, it's
Yes.
really big. So, Lisa, thank you for letting me share that. I love that practice. So,
I think that it is so important. Thank you, Lisa. If you'll hang out in the green room for just a moment, I'm going to wrap things up. Wow. I am telling you, I want you to reach out. When I bring a guest on, it's because I know that they're going to bring you something that's not just going to inspire and enrich your life, but that is also that they can also be useful to you in your journey. Please, please, please feel free to reach out to Lisa Cassenti at lisacassenti.com. Dr. Deborah says, thank you for sharing your story. So inspiring. We are grateful of the stories that we get to share. If you have a particularly powerful story of overcoming that you would like to share with our audience, the link is in the description to reach out and see if we could have you on to bring and inspire our audience. I appreciate you for joining us. Take a moment to love on yourself, and I look forward to seeing you on next week. Happy spring. Move forward in love and laughter. And meanwhile, keep walking on water.